you play against Gonzaga before you set the schedule, would you change the pre-conference schedule at all? Maybe put in a tougher team someplace, maybe a road game?
No, I mean, I think that when you look at the Big Ten and you look at, the 20 league games, for instance, the SEC's 18, so you got two league games extra that most leagues don't have. And we do have Cal, who's in the ACC, St. Mary's, and then one of the two teams in Palm Springs that we play the second night. So when you take the two games in Palm Springs, the 20 league games, and Cal, that's a good enough strength of schedule. And I do think Coach Root has done an incredible job through 10 years, this going into 10, of setting up a schedule. And I think anybody that's done research on our non-conference schedule since we've been doing college basketball, a lot of people call Coach Ruda to try to figure out what you got to do to put yourself in position at the end of the year.
Coach, Chibuzo's obviously a unique player on your team, 6'7" guard. What does his unique archetype bring to the team, especially tonight, being the 3-point guy tonight?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Buzo is he can shoot over the defense. He can make really difficult shots when he's closely guarded because of his strength, because of his size. He can stretch the floor. He's a guy that's got extreme confidence. Usually when he's open, I mean, he's a guy that is going to let shots go, which is good. You need a guy that plays with great confidence, and certainly our team needs 3-point threats. When we found out that right before the game that T. Will was not going to play, that changes our team drastically. Not a little bit, but drastically. He was a big focal point in our exhibition win in Palm Springs, and he adds perimeter shooting, and then he adds. He's super safe out there. Like, he understands game plan. He's not a high turnover player. He's one of the most experienced guys on our team. That changed. We went from starting him to starting a freshman. That's a big difference. But Matt Nolan was phenomenal off the bench, which every time we put him in a game, he plays super effective.
Moss, your first game here at USC. What do you feel like this group just kind of showed, to the fans here, started to show about the identity that you want your programs to play with, that you want this team to play with?
Yeah, I thought we played super hard. I thought the game was not as cosmetically pleasing as maybe some other games that we've had in the past, even a short time here. But I think we had 95 or 96 passes at halftime. We tried to get 100 every half. I'm super proud of 21 assists for a team that's been put together on the fly, so to speak, and a team that has so many new players, and a team that had our veteran leader not suit up. So the ball movement was pretty good. The assists, obviously, 21's a lot to go along with just 9 turnovers. We led for 35 minutes, but we got to get a lot better. Our defensive rebounding's got to drastically improve, especially when we go small ball. I spent the afternoon watching Big Ten games before our game and trying to figure out how we can create mismatches. And then we didn't do a very good job drawing free throws. I don't know if I've ever coached a team that took just 7 free throws. So we got to figure out a way to put more pressure on the rim as well, because that's unheard of the way that we play.
Is the Frontcourt rotation still pretty fluid at this point?
Yeah, I think everything's fluid, and I think everything should be fluid, based on practice, based on opportunity. Late in the game, we told the guys, play your minutes, and that's a phrase we use. You're not playing the score, you're playing your minutes. There's no such thing as garbage time here. That's how you earn trust and opportunity to get more and have a more expanded role when you play and continue to execute the game plan regardless of score. So I've told the story about Trey Wade not playing hardly at all, and then we put him in the lineup and our team took off, and it's not that I was smart when I put him in. I was probably dumb that I didn't do it earlier. And hopefully there's somebody like that here that keeps working, and then we put him, we make a change in the lineup, and when you lose a game or two, you have to make some tough decisions, whether you're going to stick on the course that you're on or whether you want to make a change and give someone, and that's some of the stuff that over a 30-game season we're going to have to try to figure out what route we take. But obviously, you know, putting Shelley in the starting lineup on game one, I'm not so sure the whole staff agreed, but I really wanted to bring our reliever in, Matt Nolan, because I kind of look at him like a closer, and I knew how comfortable I would be going to the bench. You know, hopefully I don't have to start Matt, because I love calling his name, bringing him out of the pen and having him, you know, do some damage.
You talked about building energy with this program. Obviously, this is night one of a new era. What did you think, just in general, about the turnout, the environment?
Yeah, I mean, we want it to be better. You know, I need to do a better job. I haven't been to frats, and you know, I got to get out more. Probably got to be more active on social media. I've been pretty passive, and it's collective. It's our whole department. You know what I mean? Like we want this, but there's a lot of, you know, there's an NBA game tonight. Another school played tonight, and so to me, you know, there's competition, and so what we have to do is we can control the people that came tonight deciding if they want to come back. And that's what I told the team, like, even during the huddle, like, we got to have more fun. Like, people have to read your body language, and they were having fun, but like, we got to continue to build on that. There was no preconceived notions that it's going to be easy in this market. Like, we have to win, and we got to play a decent style of play, and then you got to play super hard. And we talk about that all the time. Like, we're in a market that there's a lot of options, and so if we have people come tonight and they don't want to come back, that's on us. That's not on them.
Do you expect that you know, maybe there were going to be a lot of empty seats tonight, and just in general, does it make you think back to, you know, when you first started at Nevada, Arkansas, about, you know, how to kind of get things off the ground?
Yeah, I mean, there was not, despite what Arkansas thinks, the first couple games, when there was half-empty building. At Nevada, I could have counted them. So you got to win, you know, and like I said, you got to create an energy, meaning players on the floor, that people feel it and want to be around it.
What were your thoughts about the freshmen Wesley and Isaiah, how they played today?
Yeah, so Wes is, I mean, he's super, super talented. So he missed all last year with an injury. He had to really work to play himself into shape. He missed basically the entire 8 weeks of the summer. He's a freshman who didn't play for a year. So he's got to continue to learn both plays at the 1 and 2. That's a area that we want him to focus on, not just learn the plays at the 2. And then, you know, not turn the ball over. And but his explosiveness, you saw it on the dunk, you can see it with his 3-point, you can see it with his ball handling, and he's got incredible strength. So, you know, he's a guy that some nights we're going to need a lift. I thought when he came in the game, he gave us a lift tonight.
One more?
It seemed like you guys really clicked coming
I
out.
mean, my wife, I don't have anything else to do tonight, so we can keep going. My wife's watching Power, and I don't have anything else to do.
It seemed like you guys really clicked coming out of the break. What did you see change over the course of the game? Were there any adjustments at half?
Yeah, at halftime, we scrapped all of our half-court offense, and they were playing a 3-2 zone. When we got the ball in the middle, sometimes they went man-to-man. That's hard to read. We haven't faced a zone yet. We don't play zone in practice, so it was first time we saw it. We were a little discombobulated, and so I said, just run our opportunity break, which is hit the wing, play through the trail guy, get the ball to the second side, one back door, and then we're playing in our open offense, which is the 5-man passing game. And I thought we were much, much better and played with better flow, getting the 45 points in the second half. And again, that's on us not to do it earlier. But we did make that adjustment at halftime.
Kind of a two-parter here. Back to Wesley, it looked like at times he was kind of made you age about 5 years on the sidelines at times. What's your approach to kind of coaching a young guy like that, especially like you said, a guy who hasn't been here for a year? And I think we also just found out that he's Quincy Pondexter's cousin or something. How did he come over here just from Washington?
Yeah, I mean, so we recruited him really hard at Arkansas. Obviously, where he grew up in Texas is fairly close to Arkansas. I don't know where we were. You'd have to ask him in his thing, but I do remember Coach Ruda going to a track meet, and Washington had their whole staff there. And so Coach Ruda called me and said, hey, the good news is Wes was super cool and was really good in his track meet. The negative is Washington's whole staff was here, and it's kind of a long travel. So we had a prior relationship, and then obviously Quincy, he's super close with him, and then he's got a relationship with Coach Conroy as well.
Obviously, your rotation went.
What's that?
Obviously, your rotation went, I assume, deeper than you would normally play it. Do you have a general idea of how deep you'd like to go in terms of your rotation? Or?
I don't know, right? Like, I mean, for us, historically, it's a small rotation. I'm still trying to figure it out. I really am. I mean, I would love to say that we have the answers, but we don't. There's not a lot of separation, to be honest. And so Wes gives you some things. Jalen Shelley gives you some things. Isaiah gives you some things. So, Rashawn and Harry are different type players, but they've kind of been battling. And so there's going to be 3 or 4 guys that are not that far off from leapfrogging another, and it's just going to maybe come down to how the game's flowing. Obviously, if Terrence plays, I mean, he would have played 20 plus minutes tonight, so that eliminates somebody who played tonight's minutes. But we'll still figure it out until I hope that they're forcing us to still make decisions in January.
Thank you, Coach Musselman.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.